I don't know who this dude is, Travis Leon. Now there is a concept. There is a concept of something they call the white monkey. I think it's called the white monkey. I don't know if that's what this guy is. White monkey is a term for the phenomenon of white foreigners and or immigrants in China and Japan being hired for modeling, advertising, English teaching, or promotional jobs on the basis of their race. The phenomenon is based on the perception that association with foreigners, specifically white foreigners, can signify prestige, legitimacy, and international status. The jobs themselves, called white monkey white monkey jobs or white face jobs, often require little actual work on the part of the model, who in some cases is not expected to be fluent in Chinese. The concept is considered a subset of a larger, quote, rent-a-foreigner industry in China and other parts of Asia. White monkey jobs are often related to marketing and advertising. The quote-unquote white monkey may be hired to act as an associate of an individual or pose as an authoritative figure to promote a brand or company, and businesses will occasionally hire these individuals to pose as a founder or executive. While the concept is less viable in urban areas with more international exposure, the practice is common in smaller urban centers and rural areas, especially those trying to expand or attract real estate attention by feigning international presence. So when I say I think there's a possibility that this dude could be, quote unquote, a white monkey, understand that I don't mean that by any racist terms. But that is a reference to this particular job of hiring white people to basically do promotion and add prestige. Now, I'll tell you, you can technically not be white and get jobs like these in China, but I think it depends on the industry. I think it depends on the industry. For whatever value China has as a society that shows what it looks like to actually invest in people and invest in your own society and building up your infrastructure from a centrally planned standpoint, I think that they do still fall prey to the same kind of racially tinged stereotypes that Western societies fall into. The concept of white people bringing prestige and legitimacy and international status is not unique to China. That's definitely been a thing in Japan as well. There were a lot of, like, back in like the heyday of the Obama era, when the topic of racialized dating was popular, and you had OkCupid doing all these reports on the racism bias in dating. There were a lot of think pieces about, like, Asian women in particular, or Japanese women in particular, Asians in general, Japanese women in particular, when people would talk about, like, people not dating outside their own race and things like that. And they would talk about, well, Japanese people who are reluctant to accept foreigners in their society, or particularly in their family, if their sons or their daughters really are dating an American, there is a hierarchy there where if you're gonna date a non-Japanese person, date a white guy. You know, if you're gonna date an American, date a white guy. If you're gonna date an American, don't date a darker skinned American. You know, there is that sort of thing that permeates throughout, you know, most of the Western or Western touched world at the very least. But it's interesting how it permeates in this white monkey phenomenon too, where whiteness in and of itself, it's weird. It's like China propagating white supremacist archetypes, you know, where whiteness in and of itself is inherently prestigious. It's inherently legitimate. Like, that's kind of a crazy thing, but it's still a remnant of Western colonialism. Hong Kong used to be a part of Britain until 1997. So, and Vietnam was colonized by France, And Spain colonized the Philippines. I mean, Western Europe is all over Asia in terms of its history and its influences and all of that. So it should not be. And they associate, whether they outwardly associate it or whether it's something that's a little bit more subliminal. There is an association of that Western colonial whiteness and being authoritative, being conquering, because they came over on boats and shit and forced Japan into trading. Japan didn't want to. They forced the issue. They colonized these places. So there is that sort of idea of historical remnants of white Western civilization coming over and asserting its authority and global dominance. Even if that dominance isn't quite the same now in that region of the world as it was back then, because Vietnam kicked the motherfuckers out and Hong Kong is now a part of China again. It still exists. It's so weird. It still exists in stuff like this. So I always find that to be a little fascinating. I don't know if you guys think it's fascinating, but I always find it to be a bit fascinating. If I had the means, I guess I kind of do-ish now, although there's some stuff I need to catch up on. I would like to travel to China. I wouldn't mind that at all. I want to see this shit with my own eyes. I want to ride the trains. As much fun as I had on the Shinkansen, I want to see what China's network looks like. Hotel airport, roughly 30 minutes. Cost $14 USD. Taxis easy to find at airport. Well, they're always easy at the airport. Look at that smog.
I'm in the city of Chongqing, China. I had a bit of a
disclaimer, I mispronounced Chongqing. I think it's actually Chongqing many times in this video. Don't worry, I already know.
Nightmare getting here. I'd originally
like a true white monkey
from Bangkok to Chongqing and then back within 3 or 4 days. That was all fine, and I got to the check-in counter. They basically said that I needed a visa. This is just a detail that I didn't read when I was preparing, because that's what I do. Unfortunately,
122-hour transit visa. Must have proof that you are moving on to a third country. They're like, you gotta get the fuck out of here. You don't gotta go home. It's a third country, so they're saying you don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here. Must fly from city you entered. Must fly from city you entered, okay. Must hold passport from one of 40 EU countries, UK, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, or various Asian countries.
I had to book another flight out of Chongqing. So if you have a Western passport, such as...
Oh, okay, I see what they mean. Must fly from city you entered. So if you fly into Shanghai, you have to fly out from Shanghai. You can't fly in to Shanghai and then fly out from Chongqing, which I did that when I was in Japan. I flew into Narita and I flew out of Haneda. So that's interesting.
A US passport or a UK passport or Australian passport, then you can only stay if you're moving on to another country under what's called a visa transit, or what's it called? A transit visa. So it means you can't go there for a holiday and come back from the place you flew. You need to be moving on to another country. I don't know why they have this rule, but I was in Shanghai before and I didn't have to do this. When I got to the desk, I had to book another flight on the spot, which I paid about 4,000 baht for. Then I got my flight and I thought everything was great. And then as soon as I arrived in Chongqing, the staff ran up to me. They said that this flight was invalid because it was basically flying from Chongqing and had a layover in another Chinese city and then to Korea. But I can actually only fly out of Chongqing. So if you're visiting here, please bear that in mind.
See, what you were doing is talking about the very real and very serious lasting damage that permeates in modern society due to white supremacy. What I did was think monkey, 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 and imagine myself climbing a building and screaming at passerbys. I think both are legitimate reactions, honestly.
The bridge as well.
Why is there such a delay?
The video's doing it zero justice.
I'm always curious whenever I see videos like this, like China for sure, like there are these cities, especially this one in particular, that looks awesome at night because the buildings are like fully lit up like Christmas decorations and shit. It looks cool. I can't help but wonder, how much energy is this using? Like, how much energy are they expunging to like make the city look impressive at night? I mean, it looks cool. I can't think of any American city that looks this cool at night. But also, like, what is the energy cost like? This is also like a lot of these cities in China have millions upon millions of people living in it. I think of America, it's like we got maybe four cities that has a couple million people in it. You have New York, Chicago, LA, and Houston. And I think maybe Dallas might have a little north of a million. But we're talking like 30 million people, 15 million people. I have to imagine the energy costs. But then again, like a lot of the admittedly propaganda seeming videos I see from, white or non-white monkeys in China, I'll just stick to that phrase, that terminology. They always say that their electric bills aren't that expensive. They're certainly pretty fucking expensive here in Texas.
The bridge as well. This is actually, the video's doing it zero justice. So we're gonna try and go for food here somewhere.
I mean, it looks awesome.
We're lost inside this labyrinth, trying to get up to where the food is. This is like a dungeon. Street food. Yeah.
It's like I'm going into the restaurant
Even
and
if it's here,
Sleeping Dogs.
as long as we can eat. Not gonna lie, it looks spicy AF.
God damn, that looks good. Wait, what? Why do they have their meat hanging on the placard?
I thought Thailand was spicy. Let's check out these questionable sausages. Try this very spicy ass looking soup.
I wonder what all this is. Like, those look like oysters or something, or like half clamshells. You got this red and yellow separated concoction. Is this beef? I'm always suspicious about cooking anything. I don't know how much experience y'all have with hot pots out there, but I'm always suspicious of cooking anything in a hot pot that isn't beef. That's like raw like that. They recently added skins, custom colors to player stations in EVE, and most of the Chinese ran orgs in the game have the craziest colors for theirs. I mean, clearly China is a place that loves colors, which is cool. I think that's awesome, because in America, we've gone the opposite direction. We've evaporated all color from our public design. Every car is white, gray, or silver, or that weird kind of greenish silver color. All of our industrial buildings have become weird minimalist kind of blocks. Even our McDonald's are just like Lego blocks now. They used to be really weird shapes with the crazy roof and the golden M arch thing, but now they all just look like Lego blocks. We've gone the other way, where we've taken all of the color and joy out of our public design, and it seems like they relish in fantastical color.
This guy's helping us out with some seasoning.
Just look at the orange or the yellowish wall.
Look at that big baby.
So it's the next day, Friday. We just absolutely crashed last night because we only had 1 hour's sleep.
I can't
before
say
the
for me
car
that it looks
flight
all
to
that
China.
appetizing.
Yesterday was just
That
a
one didn't
busy,
look
stressful
the
day.
best in the world
I
to
got
me.
8.5 hours sleep. Bit more clear than yesterday, actually. Honestly, you know I love this shit. So I'll tell you my general thoughts after one day in Chongqing, however you pronounce it. Not that I've experienced it that much, but people are actually surprisingly nice. Obviously we're in Intercontinental, so everyone's gonna be nice, but even the staff that are serving us in the hot pot restaurant were just so patient.
Could be that they didn't take whatever their card from the UK was, maybe. No, I've heard this about China, is that everybody pays using either Alipay or there's another app that people do a lot of their banking through that's not Alipay. I forget what it's called. But this is what, whenever Elon Musk first purchased Twitter and was talking about wanting to make Twitter the everything app, and he was like, I want people to do their banking on Twitter. Like, obviously that just sounds dumb to us, because we in America keep all of our shit separate. Basically what he was saying in the most inarticulate manner possible was that he wants his Twitter to operate the way that like Alipay operates, or I forget the name of the other app, but they have apps that they can pay shit with. They do their banking on. They do their messaging on. It's like WhatsApp also integrated into the same thing. They have their social media integrated into it, so like their version of Instagram or whatever is integrated into it. Like they have everything apps that do that sort of thing, and that's what people use a lot to like pay or transfer money between people and whatnot. So that's what Elon was wanting Twitter to be for Americans. I don't think America is in a place where we want that sort of one singular company controls all of our shit. But I guess it works for China, but they have a lot. I guess it makes more sense considering the insane population density in some of these places and the incredible amount of tech that it takes to connect these places. Like you're going in and out of different transit points at any given moment. It makes it a lot easier if you don't have to fumble around for payments. If you don't have to fumble around for different cards, different accounts to pay for certain things, you just open the one thing and everything that you're interacting with in your highly dense populated area is all right there. My ex and I, for the longest time, had a turquoise car. We stood out, as you can imagine. I miss colorful cars. I want a colorful car. I watched a few years ago, because I was dismayed by the fact that colorful cars kind of disappeared. A few years ago, I watched this video about why, or at least it was a hypothesis that states that car colors and the proliferation of car colors is a reflection in America generally of people's feeling about the state of the economy and their place in it. So if things are good and people feel comfortable and people feel like things are on the up, then they're more likely to buy colorful cars, as opposed to if things are bleak, if they fear a recession or a depression or there's too much instability or whatever, then the car colors become muted. And people generally don't feel as good about buying a colorful car as they would about buying something that I guess symbolizes stability a bit more, or at the very least, does it seem like it's outwardly peacocking at a time when people are struggling. Like tent cities are popping up all over interstates in 2008 because of the housing crisis. Certain people probably don't want to go driving around all these tent cities in like a neon yellow car. Google got close. They have Google Pay, but it's not as deep in banking. I mean, Apple is the closest, honestly. Apple is the closest one to that because they have the iPhone. And with the iPhone, you could do Apple Pay. You have iMessages, so you could text people, you can call people. They're the closest to having like the fully integrated thing. And obviously, even the third-party things that people interact with, like their social media, still has to go through Apple. So, well, for the most part, I guess you can get that on the Play Store too. If you have an Android, you can use Google Play. And I guess you have Google Pay there as well. But Google Pay isn't nearly as widespread in usage as Apple Pay. Like, I can go to a bar downtown and pay my tab with Apple Pay. If I tried to pay my tab with Google Pay, then they'd probably tell me to get out. So there is that. Yeah, Apple's probably the closest you're going to get to something like that here in America.
Friendly and helpful, not really aggressive like some of the Chinese people can be. Prices seem to be
Wait, what does that mean?
Weather is kind of mid. It's nice.
Wait,
prices seem to be
that was a weird throwaway line.
Friendly and helpful, not really aggressive like some of the Chinese people can be. Prices
not really aggressive like some of the Chinese people can be.
Weather is kind of
and we're getting coffee called Manor. There's a few people in this city that could learn some manners. Am I right? No, everyone's lovely.
I get the sense that this guy probably like stepped on some toes and rubbed some people the wrong way, and it's kind of gotten under his skin a little that someone was barking at him in a language he couldn't understand.
Yeah, this is like a burger place.
Wait, the name is Burger? Burger. I'm guessing it's supposed to be B Burger, but Burger. I'm trying to find out Burger. What's Burger? Is this Burger? This doesn't look like Burger. This might be Burger. I guess it's this is from India though. Yeah, this is in Mumbai. I guess it could be the same franchise, I suppose. I don't know why they're linking me to the one in Mumbai. There's a burger in Edinburgh? No, this is a different. This looks like it's something different. Okay, I don't think I'm going to find out any additional information on the burger. It looks good, though.
Here we go. This is called B Burger, I think.
It's called the burger.
That's good. We're in a Chinese supermarket here, mainly for booze. We found some delicious alcoholic drinks down here. I'm gonna review these later. This is all alcoholic. I think this is plum wine.
You know, it's really funny. Like,
Really
we seem to have.
Sad that we're most interested in booze. It's 52%.
It's interesting that we've seemed to have gone completely past the era in which trying to like convince people that China is bad because of socialism or communism, and socialism and communism means no choices in the grocery store. The shelves are all empty, and whatever is on the shelf, it's all the same thing. We've really moved past a lot of that because of like all of the prolific amount of videos that show the contrary.
See the selection. Wow.
Or noodles.
Yeah, maybe try some noodles.
Strawberry cakes. Chinese Pringles. Finger licking braised pork flavor.
Braised pork.
Cucumber. Let's do it just to curb our appetite.
Yep.
Wow. That is full on Cyberpunk. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie. I think this guy is maybe a little bit too much of a dork to have like the cool cyberpunk aesthetic. I mean, he just spent the entire day like, I mean, what he showed us at least, not really doing much. He went through the train, or went on the train to the building, but that's about it. It seems like there'd be a lot more to like do and show.
This is like peak light up time. Everything.
Skyline lights up from around 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Oh, so they it's only a window. Okay, you know what? That makes a lot more sense. There's just like a brief window where they turn the lights on, and it's like, okay, everybody, get your pictures, and then they turn the lights off, and the city goes dark. Well, maybe not dark, but
Oh yes.
Yeah. Oh shit.
This one's cool because it's above the water.
this guy did not watch the latest Final Destination. He's going to like the
Being served espresso.
weirdest, ritziest places. It's really funny. All this guy's videos are like, or all of his clips from this trip is like, we're gonna show you 3 minutes of what the night looks like from the point of view of a restaurant, and then hard cut to like me being hungover in bed the next morning.
It's like pears and yogurt.
Haven't seen White Boy before.
Oh, there's some intense card battles going down. Came into this store,
The funny thing is, like,
paid, and got 3D.
I guess maybe it is a little bit more unique for like white guys or at least non-Chinese people to be roaming around these cities. Like When I was a kid in Japan, I had similar kind of interactions where people would be really curious about me. But Japan is so inundated with Western tourists right now that it's not special at all to see a non-Japanese person walking around. It's as common gets. I think that's a part of why they are seeing that rise in anti-immigration sentiment there. They have that, I forget what it's called. It's like the it may not be called Setsuna, but it's something like that. That political party in Japan that's like a far right Trumpist style party about kicking immigrants out or something like that. That's gaining popularity there. I have to imagine a lot of that is fed into by the fact that there are just a lot of Western, not even just Western actually, because there are a lot of tourists in Japan from China and Vietnam and other parts of Asia. It's a lot less special there than I guess it is here. I can't imagine like what kind of attention my 6'5" ass would draw walking around in a place like this.
Look at the portion.
Yeah, it's a big ass bowl. Beef skewers up on here. How you review? Meal in total was about $13.50. Pretty good. We got these huge portions. We got skewers. We got more coming.
$13.50.
This is like a nice braised beef sandwich.
In America, all that would be at least $50. At least $50.
I say order this one here. Top tip: if you're coming to Chongqing, you can come down to the boardwalk here to take pictures. But the main entrance, it's absolutely jammed for the people. You have to push your way to the front to get a video. But if you keep walking under this bridge here, so past this bridge, it just gets really, really quiet. And actually, scenery here.
I like the more traditional looking buildings right here that are all lit up. I think that's really fucking cool. I would definitely like to walk around there and see what's up with that. I like that more than like the other stuff. Oh, now, okay, this is perfect. This is perfect. If you...
So we're on this street.
If you're in a cyberpunk city, and it starts to rain, this is the perfect opportunity for you to find a street vendor who sells noodles and get yourself a bowl of noodles and eat these noodles in the rain you need a trench coat or a duster of some sort. You need to eat those noodles in the rain under the glow of the neon signs. That is the true cyberpunk experience. You have to wolf them down like you're in a hurry. And then like when you're done, you just have to like discard the refuse at some point in a respectful manner. Don't litter. Like I see a trash can right here, but you got to wolf it down and you got to shove that shit somewhere. And then you got to pop your trench coat and you got to hustle down the street like you're on the beat. Like this is the perfect cyberpunk setup. The rain and everything. You just got to eat your noodles. I am driving a buddy 30 minutes in the wrong direction of his destination tomorrow so he can get on a train. Wish we can get better trains. You're driving him 30 minutes. You're driving him 30 minutes in the wrong direction? Wait, where is the train taking him to? The train will come back through the town we live in. Well, then why isn't there a station? It doesn't have to be an elaborate station, but why isn't there a station in the town you live in? That's peak America, though. It's not even a high-speed rail to Chicago, too. It's probably, what is it, an Amtrak? Is it an Amtrak that travels at like 45 miles an hour? Yes, of course. Despicable. And you would think that, like, Chicago, New York, those are two places for sure that would benefit from having, like, a high-speed rail entry into that city. Amtrak opened a train line from St. Paul, Minnesota to Chicago that was immediately super popular. And it started turning a profit within a couple of days of it opening. And a lot of people take that trip from St. Paul to Chicago. But it's like 6 or 7 hours on a slow-ass Amtrak. And I'm like, just imagine how much more profitable it would be if it was high speed. If you could cut that time in half, literally in half, you could make more trips. You could get more people to pass through your stations on any given day. It's really dumb that we just outright refuse to invest in it here in 2025. The metro lines around St. Louis barely leaves the city, and the majority of the people in the metro pop don't even live in the city. Well, that's another part of the problem, is like a lot of the sprawl on the outskirts of like major metropolitan areas. We don't have, in most of our cities, we don't have the kind of population density that would make commuter rail lines make sense. Like, we could still connect our metropolitan areas with high-speed rail. We could still connect, Dallas to Austin. I keep saying, we could connect Dallas to Austin and Austin to San Antonio and shit like that. One big hang up with that is if those cities themselves don't have a good metro rail line, then once you get there, you're dependent on Ubers or Lyfts or taxis or something, or you got to rent a car. Because you don't have a metro rail at your point of destination. So what are you gonna do? And especially if you're in Texas, like I want there to be high-speed rail connecting all of our cities, but the second I take a high-speed rail from Austin to like Houston or to Dallas, and I get off at that station, I'm not walking anywhere. I'm not gonna walk from the station to fucking Galleria or whatever, or wherever I want to go in Dallas. I'm going to have to use a car. So that's the real hang up there, is that it's going to, without a robust metro system, and it's hard to build a robust metro system because of all the crazy sprawl that those areas have, where people just live there's like no real urban planning in a lot of our cities. People just live willy-nilly wherever the fuck they can. So it's hard to like put a line somewhere that makes sense where it can connect to all the major living areas. So we would have to, I'm not saying that it can't be done or we shouldn't do some subset of it, but we could barely convince people. I don't think that's true. Not people. We could barely get, because people want it. There is a desire in America for transit. We can't get our elected officials to spend our money on it, is basically what it is. They want to take our money and do really stupid shit with it. They either want to give it to the richest people for some dumb reason, or they want to give it to the military so that we can continue to fund wars all over the place, or they're just going to give it to Israel or Ukraine. They're just going to give that's where all our money's going. And anything that's related to like investing in your people and investing in infrastructure that makes society more livable, they just say, "No, we can't do that. Fuck you."
No idea what I just stumbled across. Should I go inside?
Oh, that looks cool. Oh, the flashing was not cool. Again, look at all the weird ass colors.
Magic cave where you make wishes, I think. You're right down the wish here. I don't know. But we're all over the place. Gonna try some street food here. Cartilages cup. Cup full of good old cartilages.
Cartilages.
Tasty though, it's really.
Oh, come on, it's raining, man. You gotta get noodles. Get noodles. I mean, I guess this is, at least he's getting street food in the rain. The umbrella's kind of killing it.
Literally cartilage.
The umbrella's kind of killing it.
Secret compartment. Seoul, Korea. There's a lot of last minute changes to the plan. I was meant to go back to Bangkok, but actually misread the visa, as I explained earlier. It's a transit visa, means you have to move on to a third country. My girlfriend had a return ticket for Bangkok as well, but she wanted to come last minute to Korea. We didn't get her visa approved in time, and the Koreans are quite strict on ties right now, so they wouldn't issue it.
Wait, what?
I'm here by myself.
Strict on ties?
Back to Bangkok,
wait,
so
what?
I'm just here for 1 or 2 days. I don't really know if I'll do much, but it is Christmas in Korea.
Wait, so they didn't plan their exit and they got split up? His girlfriend got sent back to Thailand? Okay, well, you know what? It looked neat. I would have liked to have seen more that, you could do there, but, this guy was hell bent on, I guess, I don't even know if he was like clubbing or anything, but he would go to a restaurant, he would show you a little bit from the point of view of the restaurant, and then it would hard cut to him being hungover in bed the next day. So whatever happened in between, I guess, is between him and his girlfriend.